Hi, Linda here. Welcome back to another live session from ITTT. I'm so happy to be here this week again with another exciting topic. So, this week we are actually going to talk about how to navigate the job market for English teachers in 2023. And I'm going to talk about all the things you need to know for finding a job, for getting started as an English teacher abroad and also online. So, if your plan is to start teaching English in the near future, this live session will be for you today, and I hope you're going to learn something. Yeah, right off the bat, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our upcoming live sessions. We go live every week, same place, same time. I'm right here, and I hope you will join me again so that you're just staying up to date and you know whenever we go live. I just appreciate it if you could like our Facebook page. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube, so subscribe to our channel and then you never miss any of our upcoming live sessions. You get notified, you know when something's happening, so just stay up to date. And how's everybody doing? Where are you watching from today? Let me know in the comment section. I'm in South Korea. It is 10:30 a.m. Friday morning. And what time is it where you are? And where are you? And how are you doing? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, I want to start off by saying we do have 30% off today. Again, we have a discount code for you. So if you want to start teaching English in 2023, take advantage of this discount. You get 30% off. So why not? Why not? Right? So what you can do is you can scan this QR code with your phone or with any other mobile device, or you can also use the link that I'm going to share with you guys in the comment section now. So it looks like this. It ends with Facebook Live minus Linda, and then you get 30% off with this link. So you just click on it. It will lead you straight to the application page, and you will see a congratulations, you get 30% off. Right at the top, something like that. And you're good to go. Hi there, we have Kathamala. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Kathamala from Bangladesh. Hi, thank you so much for joining. What time is it in Bangladesh? Awesome. I love your picture too. It looks very nice. Love it. How are you doing? Daniel is here. Hi, Daniel from Mexico. Awesome. What time is it in Mexico, Daniel? I think we're probably like, I don't know. Are we like 12 hours apart? Is it like 10:30 in the evening? Maybe something like that. I don't know. Okay, so in Bangladesh it's 7:33 a.m. Okay, nice. So we have a 3-hour time difference from Korea and Bangladesh. Okay. Oh, it's 7:33 p.m. Wow, that's a big time difference. Okay. Cool. All right, I see. You're welcome. No, I really love it. And orange and teal, I love that color combination of your dress or your top. That's very pretty. All right, good. So yeah, like I said, we do have 30% off. So if you're not yet TEFL certified, if you're thinking about it, now is a great time to do so, to get started in the new year, to kind of check that one off your list. It's a good opportunity to do so. And again, today's topic, we are going to talk about how to navigate the job market for teaching English as a foreign language abroad or online in 2023 in this new year. So yeah, let's talk about it. Before we jump in, I want to just give a quick introduction about myself, and please keep commenting on where you are located. I'm curious to know. And then I'm just going to make myself smaller so you can read this text, but I'm still here. So my name is Linda. I am many different things, but I'm a travel writer and content creator under the name Linda Goes East because I'm super interested in Asia. I love Asia. I love living in Asia. I've been living in Asia for the past 10 years. Yeah, almost. So if you're interested in Asia and want to move here as well, are interested in teaching English in Korea, go check out lindagoeseast.com. And also on Instagram, I'm very active. I share content on there about my travels at Linda Goes East. So do check that out. And I'm originally from Germany/USA. My mom is German, my dad is American, and I am based in South Korea. Before I moved to South Korea, I also lived in China. I taught English there, and I'm still teaching English now. And I also am a TEFL and TESOL marketing professional for ITTT, which stands for International TEFL and TESOL Training. I know it's a mouthful, but there we go. Many of you already know ITTT, and many of you have taken courses, so you know all about it. But just in case, you can find our courses. We offer online courses, combined courses, in-class courses, many different types of courses for TEFL and TESOL. Do check that out at teflcourse.net. And if you choose to take a course, use this link that I shared a couple minutes ago and save 30%. Do not pay full price. Use this link, save 30%. ITTT is a leading TEFL and TESOL course provider worldwide. So if you want to teach English as a foreign language abroad or online, or maybe in your own country, this is a great way to get started. Really, TEFL or TESOL is your foot in the door of English teaching, basically. So this would be your first step to get this journey started. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. And this is enough about me. And this is what we're going to talk about today, guys. So let's get this out of the way. This is what's on the agenda today, basically. So first up, we're going to talk a little bit about some trends and also the demand for English teachers in 2023. We're going to look at how to find English teaching jobs. And then once you find one, how to negotiate your salary and benefits, what you kind of need to look out for, what you can do. And number 4 here, standing out in a competitive job market. So what you can do to kind of stand out and to boost your resume. And then we're going to have some final thoughts and also a Q&A session. So at the end, you'll be able to, again, ask your questions. But if you have any questions throughout the live session, I can also answer them if they fit in. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. And Daniel says, Linda, the pictures you share of South Korea are beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate that. I also actually edited some pictures of my latest trip that I took in November to Cambodia. I'm just now kind of going through all the pictures because they didn't really fit in with the Christmas season, so I didn't post anything. But a lot of Cambodia content is also coming if you're interested in visiting there. It was really good. So look out for that on my Instagram as well and on my blog. All right, cool. So this is what we're going to talk about today. If you have any questions, if there's something that's not clear throughout this live session you'd like me to repeat or, elaborate on, let me know. And if there are some technical difficulties, if at some point you can't hear me or see me anymore, also let me know. And Daniel says, show us more of that, please. Yes, I will show you more of all of my travels. It's coming up. 2023 is going to be a very exciting year as well. I already have some travel plans lined up. I'm super excited. So look out for that. But today we're actually going to talk about how you too can move abroad and travel and get paid to teach everything together. So this is how you can get started right here with a TEFL and TESOL course and teaching English abroad. So first up, let's have a look at some trends and the demand for English language teaching. And again, this is today's topic for any of you who just joined, navigating the job market for English teachers in 2023, teaching English abroad and online. Let's have a look. All right, so let's have a look at the demand for teachers abroad and online. So English teachers, of course, and as we all know, and that's why we're all here, I think, English language education is still regarded a valuable skill in today's globalized world. And that's why we still see a huge demand, right? English is the world's language, right? It's everybody should be able to speak English in today's world if they want to work in an international company. and things like that. So in many, many countries, this agenda is pushed very, very heavily, and we see a lot of programs that bring English teachers to their country to teach. And that's why also there are actually many, many options available. So there's not just one way of teaching English abroad or teaching English as a foreign language, but there's so many different options nowadays. It's not just going abroad and teaching in a classroom. You could work at a language school, of course. You could also do some private tutoring. And also online teaching is super, super popular nowadays. And actually this is getting more possible, even combining online teaching with moving abroad. And this is something we talked about, I believe, last week when we talked about, also some trends we mentioned for teaching in 2023. I can't remember exactly, but the topic. But so many countries are rolling out digital nomad visas nowadays, and this would allow you to live in a country but do online work, and this could include online teaching. So you can actually combine the two. Even if you're into online teaching and the flexibility that it offers, you could still move abroad and teach. So very, very exciting stuff. So this is something we see. And then also, of course, in terms of the demand and things, so the factors such as qualifications, experience, and adaptability are considered important. So these are the three main things that you should have and bring to the table if you want to teach English as a foreign language. So, and especially, of course, we know qualifications and experience is important, but I think a lot of people also neglect the adaptability. So what does that mean? A lot of employers actually hiring someone from abroad, right? Like a foreign English teacher is very expensive for schools and companies. So they want to make sure that when they hire you, you obviously stay with their school and with their company. So adaptability, if you already have some experience living abroad, maybe you have some language skills, maybe you traveled to that country before where you want to go, that shows that you're aware of the culture, you can adapt to a new culture, you're not afraid, you're not, because there are a lot of people actually, they experience culture shock and things like that, and they end up quitting and then moving back or leave the country. That happens. And so that would be really bad, because then they lose money. They hired you, they spend a lot of money to hire you, but then you quit and they have to hire someone else. So adaptability is very important for these employers, actually. And you want to showcase that. And I'm going to give you some tips how you can showcase that in your application, in your resume. So these are just three key things about the demand for English teachers abroad and online that you should be aware of for 2023. Good. Let's have a look. Yeah, and we're starting right off with the qualifications. So what are the qualifications that you need to have for teaching English as a foreign language in 2023? And we have Claudette here. I hope I'm saying that right. Claudette, hi, how are you doing? Where are you from, Claudette? Where are you watching from? Let us know, please. All right, so let's have a look at the right qualifications that you will need to teach English as a foreign language in 2023. What are people looking for? And maybe a little disclaimer. I know this is too small. Give me a second. Little disclaimer, of course, the qualifications, the requirements vary from country to country, sometimes even school to school, okay? So there's not just one set list of qualifications that you need to have. So it varies, and these are just the main things that we see most often. All right, Claudette is from Brazil. I almost wanted to guess that because of your last name, Silva Ruas. Sounded kind of Portuguese or Brazilian to me. Cool. How are you doing? What part of Brazil are you watching from, Claudette? Okay, so let's have a look at the main qualifications that you need to have. First of all, of course, I mentioned a TEFL or TESOL certification. This is like the most basic thing. So if you don't have anything, you want to at least get that one. And that is already a good boost. And not only any TEFL or TESOL qualification, but a TEFL or TESOL certificate of at least 100 hours is a common requirement. And this just demonstrates that you have the knowledge and the skills to teach English as a foreign language. Obviously, that's what the TEFL certificate is for, right? And employers want to see that, especially in 2023, because the competition is a little bit more this year because it's sort of post-COVID, and a lot of countries are open again, and a lot of people who have delayed their teaching English abroad plans are now coming back to it. So we see a lot more applicants this year. So you really want to have a TEFL certificate of at least 100 hours. Hi, Amitava. Hi, how are you doing? I'm great. How are you? Okay. And then also university degree is very important, but also not always. So we see some destinations where you actually can teach without a university degree. But if you have one, you definitely have a lot more options to choose from. So a completed undergraduate degree. So this is a 3-year degree in the UK, I believe, and then 4 years in America. It depends, but a undergraduate degree from an accredited university, of course, and that's a general requirement for teaching English abroad. However, as I said, not always. So if you don't have a degree, there's still some options out there. It's just a little bit more limited, and it might take a little bit more time to find a job, but still possible, not impossible. And then also I wanted to mention prior teaching experience. Again, this is not always required, but if you have prior teaching experience, this is a huge plus, actually. So some schools or institutions, they may require that you have prior teaching experience in order to be considered for a position. But we see this a lot in the Middle East. And the Middle East is actually the highest paying region for EFL teachers. So they have the highest salary and highest salaries, and also tax-free salaries, which is really, really cool. And that's why their requirements are usually a little bit more strict and higher than other regions. And they oftentimes actually want prior teaching experience, at least like 2 years. That's why I always say, like, if you want to teach English in the Middle East is a great region to go to after you have taught somewhere else first. For example, like Asia, if you taught English in China or in Korea or in Japan or any other country for that matter, if you have like 2 years of teaching experience somewhere else, then you have really great chances of making it big in the Middle East. All right, so these are the main qualifications that we always see. Definitely a TEFL or TESOL certificate, and then a degree is great, but even if you don't have a degree, it's not impossible. And also teaching experience. Actually, when I was teaching in China, in Korea, many of my coworkers, they did not have any teaching experience. They came fresh out of college. This is a lot of teachers are doing it like that. So yeah, it is not necessarily required teaching experience, but it's a huge plus if you have it. Okay. All right, good. Again, if anything is not clear, do let me know. And then let's have a look at how long things take. And this is something I also talked about in last week's live session, but I'm sure we have some new viewers, so I just wanted to pop it up here again. So this is the teaching English timeline, sort of how long things will take from number one here, choosing your TEFL course. So from taking your TEFL course all the way to starting to teach, how long does it take? Between 4 and 6 months, sometimes even longer, especially for teaching English abroad, especially if you want to teach in a very competitive place where interviewing and things and job search might take a little longer. But so you want to choose your TEFL course first. Again, there are many different options, and I would be happy to walk you through them, or you can also email us courses. I'm going to pop that in the comment section. Courses at TESOL-TEFL, and you just send us an email and you tell us, hey, I want to teach English in blank, whatever country, and then we will be able to recommend a course to you. But as I mentioned in the slide before, you want to have a TEFL certificate of at least 100 hours. So that's why the 120-hour course is our most popular, because that's the international standard. So this one's always a good place to start. Then, yeah, you would choose your TEFL course and then you would start working through the units. This is number 2 here. You work through the units. And if you have an online course, it's super easy to do that. You can log in, you can study from anywhere at any time you want, from any device that you want. So that's really flexible and convenient for a lot of people. You work through the units, and this can take anywhere from a month to you have up to 6 months to complete the course. So a lot of people finish it much quicker. It depends how much time you have and your study style. For me, I completed it in 3 to 4 months, I believe, in 2014. I was already teaching full time at the time, so I only did a few units a week, and I passed in 3 to 4 months. So yeah, if you have more time, you can finish it much quicker than that. So, but you have up to 6 months to do it. And then, of course, you would receive your certificate. So you get a hard copy, an actual paper copy, and you also get a PDF version. And with this PDF version, you can already start applying and doing that. Number 4, apply for jobs. So you can do that. And yeah, you would apply for jobs. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that, especially this year, what is different, etc. Some good platforms to look out for. And then you would apply, you would interview, and then you would hopefully start teaching. And this whole process, here it says 4 to 6 months. I think more realistically is 6 months and more, depending on where you want to go. For teaching English online, it's usually faster than, 4 months is probably more realistic for teaching English online. So this is typically how it works so that you just know kind of time-wise and you can plan a little bit better. Okay, good. And then let's have a look at finding English teaching jobs. So the first step would be to choose your TEFL course, and now you do that. And you can actually, while you're working through your course, you can already start your job search. So you don't need to actually wait until you complete each step. You can do them all simultaneously, and you can start finding a job. You can start networking and all of those things. I'm going to give you tips on how to do that in just a minute. I just want to check in with you guys real quick. Everything cool? Everything good? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Again, where are you at right now? I know there's some new people that joined. Let me know in the comment sections. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, so you're updated and you know whenever we go live next. Let me know. Let me know where you are watching from. And I'm just going to have a drink real quick. Not alcoholic. I know it looks like it could be whiskey, but it's not. It's like it's a Korean corn tea. Korean corn tea. All right. Good. I guess everything's clear then. I sometimes give it a few seconds. There is a delay sometimes, and it takes you guys some time to type, of course. So I get it. But yeah. Let me know, and then I'm going to pop it up. Oh, we have a response here. Jacqueline, hi. Thank you so much for letting me know. Video and audio are great. Okay, I'm pleased. I do have a little mic here. I hope, it's a little older already, so I hope it's still working pretty well. And you can hear me clearly. I'm Jacqueline from the U.S., Wisconsin. Cool. How are you doing, Jacqueline? Thank you so much for watching and letting me know that everything works well. Thank you. All right, then let's have a look at how to find English teaching jobs, because that's, of course, I think one of the most important things and why a lot of people are watching today, right? Taking the TEFL course is maybe the easy part, but then finding a job kind of gets harder. But I will say, though, if you take a course from ITTT, you do have access to job support. And which means you can let us know, hey, I want to teach English in Thailand. Hey, I want to teach English in Argentina, and we will help you find a job there. So we actually have a big database, a big network of schools around the world and recruitment partners that we partner with. And we can connect you. We have a big network. And that is what you will get access to if you are an ITTT course graduate. Just letting you know. But of course, there are many other ways how you can find a job as well. And I always like to combine all of these resources because why not? It can enhance your chances, right? So let's do that. Let's have a look. Oh, over here. I do have two laptops I'm always operating. Okay, getting confused. All right, over here. So I kind of came up with four main options or ways how you can find English teaching jobs for abroad or online. So let's go over these real quick. One, of course, the most obvious ones, the ones that we are probably most familiar with, are the job search websites, right? And here are five that I've identified that are pretty good this year. That should be on your radar. Of course, as always, Dave's ESL Cafe is very popular. Good stuff there. Then we also have Ajarn. We also have, and I think a lot of people don't know this, there's actually the Guardian jobs, and they also have English teaching jobs in there. So the Guardian is this UK news. Is it a newspaper? Yeah, they have a job section, a very good job section actually, and they have some English teaching gigs on there as well, and even sometimes also summer jobs, which I find really good because some people might not be ready yet to commit to like a full year abroad. So if you want to just get started or you want to boost your resume, you can find a summer job, like a summer camp or a winter camp position in there as well. I've seen many of these in the Guardian jobs. And then also ESL Base is really good, a great job site, and also seekteachers.com. So do check out these. These are pretty good. And I like their content as well. So that's recommended. Then we also have to talk about recruitment agencies. Recruitment agencies are great because they're free for the teacher. So the teacher never pays for the recruiter, but the school does. So I think a lot of people are confused about that. I certainly was when I first started with the search, and I thought, oh my God, I don't want to hire a recruiter. I don't want to pay for that. You actually don't pay the recruiter. The school pays the recruiter. So that's important to note. You can use this for completely free. And so why not? Why not? They know the market where you want to go to. They have connections with schools and institutions that are not advertised on these job search sites most of the time, right? So they have really good insight, and they can also give you tips on your resume and on your for your interview. And they also sometimes help with visa processes and things like that. So that's why, especially for first-time teachers, I always recommend recruitment agencies. And we at ITTT, we are partnered with a lot of these. So if you go through us and you take your TEFL course, you also get access to our partner recruitment agencies. Because there are some scammers out there for recruitment agencies. We hear this, or I know this a lot. Actually, back in the day when I worked with a recruiter, my recruiter was not very good. I would not recommend that one. But the ones that we partnered with here at ITTT, they are really good. And we've been in contact or like in partnership with them for a long time. So these are the two most common ways how you can find a teaching job abroad or online. But then I also always like to recommend social media, especially in our time, 2023. You know, social media is everything. And you also want to look for, or you can look and you can find English teaching jobs on there. They're very well advertised. On Facebook, you have a lot of groups on there, Facebook groups. I always recommend those, like English teachers in Korea, English teachers in China, English teachers in blank, any country, any city, there would be a group for that. And a lot of teachers, because a lot of English teachers abroad are staying maybe for a year or two and then they leave. So actually, this is most common that they don't stay that long, or they move on to a different destination, or they go home. And so what many people do is actually, also from my experience, so when you teach at a school and then you're leaving, they will ask you, hey, could you like ask your friends or ask someone if they are interested in taking over your position when you leave. And so a lot of people actually put these in those Facebook groups, or also groups like expats in X country. So expats in Korea, expats in China, they would put job offers in there. So this is one of the first steps that they take because it is free. It's not like a recruiter, right? Because the school needs to pay for the recruiter. So it's just very easy to just put this job offer like in a Facebook group. It's quick and easy, and a lot of times this would be their first move nowadays to do. Same also LinkedIn. Of course, we all know LinkedIn has a job section, but also LinkedIn has groups as well. And in these groups, you can also find jobs for teaching English, and also a lot of online positions as well for LinkedIn. And then also Instagram. A lot of schools nowadays, they have Instagram profiles. And if you search, for example, English school in Paris or something, hashtag English school in Paris, something like that, you can also actually find suitable schools if you already know, like, hey, I want to go to Paris, France, 100%. There's no other option. You can kind of use Instagram or other social media to kind of narrow that down instead of using job sites that are more broad, right? Usually on job sites, maybe you can only filter for the country. But if you have like a specific city where you want to go to, especially maybe a smaller city, then this approach might work really well. And then also networking will be really important. And this is also kind of what social media also kind of ties in, of course. Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, all of these are great ways for networking as well, and reaching out to other teachers. And also, I would always recommend bloggers. You can reach out to bloggers. A lot of bloggers are out there writing about, hey, what it's like teaching English in Paris or France, or teaching English in wherever it is. And you can email them, you can reach out to them, and they're usually more than happy to give you advice and give you some connections. So that's a great way. And then you can also just attend some teaching events. They're usually some events in bigger cities related to that. Job fairs, more often than not, will now also have English teaching information. But yeah, use social media to find connections and then network with your new connections, right? It's super easy just to click on join group on Facebook, but then actually to do the networking, that's what's a little bit more challenging, or takes a little bit more time, but it's so worth it in finding like a good job. So yeah, these are my 4 top options for finding English teaching jobs abroad and online. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to add something to that. And then we could move on to the next point. But yeah, these 5 job search websites are a great place to start. And then obviously also recruitment agencies. We actually have a site. Let me see. We have a page on our website. I'm going to pull that up with our recruitment partners. So you could also reach out to them. Let them know, hey, ITTT send you. And then you can also do that. Here. Here we go. This is the website with all of our recruitment partners. So you could also contact them. But yeah, let them know. ITTT. Linda from ITTT sent you. If you send an email, they'll know. Oh, I think the link is actually wrong. No, it is Facebook, not the whole Facebook. Okay. With my discount code. Well, it doesn't matter too much. Wait, sending this again. This is it with the discounted part. I wrote the discounted part wrong. Here. So you still have 30% off. Okay, good. Good stuff, good stuff. Just checking in. Everything cool? We good? Let me know. Are you still there? Or did you fall asleep? Let me know. Thank you. And let's see what we're going to talk about next. Yeah, okay. Now it's all about tailoring your resume. So now you've found a couple of jobs you want to apply to. Now it's all about tailoring your resume and your cover letter and what you should do. So something very important to note, first off, you should definitely use keywords that are relevant to teaching, right? Put in TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language, EFL, ESL, all those things, they should be in there, because nowadays many hiring managers, many HR departments, they actually use automated systems to scan resumes for relevant keywords, right? So they put all of the resumes that they receive through this system and filter those out that don't match these certain keywords, and then they only look at those with keywords. So very important to put in as many English teaching keywords as you can. So EFL, ESL, TEFL, TESOL, everything like that. Teaching English as a foreign language, etc., etc. Teaching business English, young learners, all of this good stuff. You should put that into your resume and your cover letter. Daniel says, not sleeping at all. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you're still here and listening. Cool. Of course, you should also emphasize your certifications. For this job, of course, English teaching, you want to emphasize any certifications or qualifications you have in teaching English as a second language, right? You have to put your TEFL on there. You have to put your TESOL on there. And also, and some people forget that, you have to include your study hours. So if it's a TEFL course, 120-hour TEFL course, 220-hour TEFL course, very different. 100 hours, 100 study hours of a difference, right? So put that on there. And the more hours you have, the better. The more hours you have, the better. And then also, of course, include any relevant experience, right? So include any relevant volunteer or teaching experience. Even if you haven't taught yet, if you've tutored someone, of course, if you've taught English abroad already, you should put that on there. But if you don't have any experience, you can easily find something related to teaching, right? If you tutored somebody at some point in your life, or if you were just like a summer camp person, or you did some kind of volunteering somewhere, you can put that on there. Just that shows that you, something related to like teaching and like leading a group, tutoring, all of these things. Definitely put that on there. That is very important. So yeah. Definitely. And I think, yeah, once you do that, you already have good chances. You might already have a resume, right, from a previous job, but just make sure that for teaching English, you need to tailor your resume and cover letter to that new job, right? So use the keywords, and also use some words that they themselves use in the job offer. So if they call somebody a teaching assistant or something like that, use that same phrasing in your cover letter and your resume as well. So they see that you read the job, and B, you care, you make an effort, you use those same keywords. They resonate with them. I hope that makes sense. Okay, and then we're moving on to negotiating your salary and benefits. Also very important. So you applied for a job, you did all the things that you needed to do, they invited you, you had a good interview, and now you are there to negotiate your salary and your benefits, or maybe even during the interview, right? So and to do that, first, we obviously need to know what is the typical salary and benefits for English teachers around the world. And I've kind of categorized this into 3 different places, regions. So we have high earning potential, medium earning potential, and low earning potential in terms of salary. Now, of course, a high salary might not be important to all of us, right? Some teachers, they don't go abroad to teach for the money. So whatever your incentive is to teach English abroad, just be aware that, for some people, money is not important, and that's also cool. So they're set on teaching in certain regions without, no matter how much they get paid. We're all different, so it's all cool. It's just, for your information, how the salary ranges in different areas. So first, high earning potential. Here you can make anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 US dollars per month. And like I mentioned in the beginning, the highest paying region is the Middle East. So Middle Eastern countries, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Qatar, all of these places, very, very good salaries, and also tax-free salaries more often. So this is really, really great. You don't pay any taxes on it. You usually get insurance, you get housing, you get airfare, you get everything there. So this is very good, but also very competitive. Other places include East Asia in particular. We have China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan. They also have one of the highest salaries here, not quite up to 5,000, but between 2 and 3,000 US dollars would be a good range. And they also offer a lot of great benefits. So you also have housing, free housing here, free airfare, so free airplane tickets to and from there, health insurance, and then sometimes even a pension scheme that you pay into. And then when you leave, you get this money back. So really, really great. So a lot of people choose these destinations if they are in for the money. They work a couple of years there, they teach a couple of years there, they save. You can save because of these great benefits. You don't have to worry about rent, you don't have to worry about airplane tickets and nothing. You can actually save half or even more of your salary every month, depending on your lifestyle. So you could send that money back home, you could save it. Of course, you could also spend it and travel and do all that. So that's why a lot of people choose these high earning potential areas. Then medium earning potential, we have countries like Thailand, Mexico, and Spain, for example. There are more than that, of course, but these are just three of like the main, and they're all in different places too. As you can see, they're all over. Here you can make anywhere from 800 to 1,500 US dollars. And in many cases, they also offer benefits. They might not offer all of these, housing, airfare, health insurance, but at least most of them will have at least insurance. And then sometimes you can also have housing. Sometimes you also get airfare. So this would be up to you to negotiate, you know. And we're going to talk a little bit more about negotiating after this, how you can negotiate your salary and these benefits better to your benefit. And then we have the low earning potential areas where you can make anywhere from 500 to 1,000 US dollars. This would be most of Latin America, and then also certain European countries like France. Actually, they don't pay very well. Where else? Many European countries, actually. Italy, I believe, also. That's why we actually usually recommend Eastern European countries, like the Czech Republic is really good, and their salaries are a little bit higher. And usually in these places, you will not get any benefits. So you have to pay for everything. And then it will be very difficult to really save any money at all, or even, have a somewhat decent lifestyle. So that's why a lot of people who go to these areas, they do not care about the money. They are there for the experience, or they take on additional like jobs. They take on private tutoring, or they might also teach English online or do something completely different. You could do like translation work, for example, if you can speak those languages as well. So it really depends. But yeah, this is kind of what it looks like, typical salary and benefits for English teachers around the world. And now we are going to look at how you can negotiate for a fair package, so fair salary, a fair benefit package. How do you do that? So first of all, you need to know what is what, right? So first of all, do your research. Research the typical salary and benefit packages for English teachers in the country where you want to teach it, and also for the type of school you want to teach at, because salaries are different sometimes for private schools, public schools, universities, international schools. They all have different salaries and different benefits. So you need to know, first of all, what is normal, what can I get, what can I not get. So this will give you just a good idea of what to expect and what a fair offer would be, because maybe they're already offering you a fair offer, right? And you don't want to go over that. You might lose your chance. And then for your negotiation, what you want to do is you want to highlight, of course, your qualifications and your experience, your expertise, all of that. So emphasize, again, any qualifications and certifications that you have in teaching English as a second language and any related work experience. Yes, you would already put that in your resume, but when you negotiate, you can say that again, right? And you could be like, well, but I actually have I have the standard 120-hour TEFL certification course, but I also have 3 additional specializations, which actually puts me above average in terms of TEFL training compared to other candidates. So etc., etc. So you can kind of leverage that. And again, the more TEFL hours you have, the better here. You can negotiate that. Any experience. So if you worked on something before, or maybe you applied for this job, and after you applied for a job, you actually got some experience, then you want to mention that in the interview. You could say, yeah, since I applied for this job, I started teaching English online to improve my skills and to get experience. So I've been doing that successfully. I gained 5 regular students within 2 months, something like that. If you can put out numbers, that is really great. So you can mention something like that. And that will be able to give you kind of a leverage for a higher salary as well. And then, as always, be flexible and be open to compromise. So just be willing to compromise on certain aspects. Don't just expect to take. Just be willing to compromise on certain aspects in order to reach an agreement that works for both parties, right? That's why it's so important to do your research, which is also why you're here and watching. Right? So do your research, know what does a fair salary and benefit package look like for this country and this specific school, so you know how far you can go, right? But these are just some tips on how you can negotiate for a fair package here, and I hope this helped you. If you want to add anything to this, I know some of you have already started teaching and maybe have had already these negotiation talks. So if you want to add something to that, feel free. Let me know in the comments and we can share that with everybody. Yeah, and I think the most important step here really is doing your research, because when you know, okay, this is like the average salary for this type of school in this country, in this city, whatever, you will be able to obviously recognize right away, hey, this is a fair offer, or no, this is actually not that fair. And then you can also mention that. You could say, oh, but from what I researched, and from the other teachers that I've spoken to who work in Korea, this and this and this is like the average salary. So I wonder, how do you come up with your number? How did you calculate the average salary that you offer? Because I heard, or after my research and after speaking with different teachers, they told me this and this and this is the average salary. And this and this and this are the average or regular normal benefits that you get. So that's why doing your research is super powerful. Knowledge is power. Again, knowledge is power. All right. Good. And Daniel says, yeah, we always want to hammer out a good deal. We do. And they also want to do that, right? The school also wants to hammer out a good deal. But it needs to be just fair for everybody. Okay, let's see what's next. Okay, let's have a look at how this all looks like for teaching English online. So, a little bit different, of course. Why, first of all, a little bit on teaching online. Why do you want to teach English online, or what are the benefits? Of course, because you can work from anywhere. You can work here from your own place, from your office, but you can also, like we said, you could move to a different country, be on like a digital nomad visa, or wherever you can go visa free. Live there and teach online, also possible. So you can take command really of your own workplace, your own environment, and your own schedule. You could make up when you want to teach, what times you want to teach, how many hours a week or a day you want to teach. It's very flexible. Here, the average salary range is between 15 and 30 US dollars an hour. And some requirements, again, like in the beginning, what we mentioned, might be also a university degree, a undergraduate degree. However, not for every platform, actually. There's some platforms where you can also teach without a degree. And a TEFL certification, of course, will boost that. You will also need online teaching equipment. Of course, you need a webcam, fast internet. Sometimes you might also want to have a mic or like a headset. You might want to have a ring light. I have a light right here. Things like that. And yeah, fast internet connection is very important. So a lot of platforms, they will actually do an internet speed check for the interview or as part of the interview. And if your internet is too slow, you might not be able to get in. So that is also very important. So just a few things to know here about this teaching English online. And then also some platforms listed that are popular to teach for. But basically, yeah, you would register at one of these platforms, and then pretty quickly, usually, they would invite you to an interview. And you might even have to teach a mock class, a mock lesson. And then once you pass that, then you are in and you are ready to start teaching English online. So this process is usually a lot faster compared to teaching English abroad, of course, where you need to move to a different country, you need to apply for visas, etc. So if you want to teach English online, you can do so usually a lot quicker than teaching English abroad, right? Okay. And then, oh yeah, if you want to know more about teaching English online, I did a live session before, very comprehensive. A complete guide to teaching English online, everything you need to know, how to get started, all the platforms that are good, if you have a degree, if you don't have a degree, if you're not a native English speaker, etc. All of that you can find out in this previous live session. And let me see. Oh no, I can't click on this. Wait, I want to share the link with you. Yes. Okay. Gonna share the link with you guys so you can watch that if you are interested in teaching English online. Then you can have a look at it. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, here we go. So this is the link to this video right here. Previous live session all about teaching English online. Go ahead and check that out if you're interested in getting started with that kind of teaching lifestyle. I've been teaching English online since I think 2020. Yeah, 2020. And I love it. I never thought, like, before COVID that I would teach English online and I would like it, but it's really good. Like, you just need to be ready for your class like 5 minutes before it starts. Of course, you need to prep your material, but yeah, you can just do this at home in the comfort of your own home, which is great. You don't need to leave and go anywhere, and you can reach so many different people all across the world. You have access to such a huge like student pool. It's great. So I recommend it. All right, and then next up, we look at how can you stand out in a competitive job market, because we talked about 2023 is a little bit more competitive than previous years because now most countries are open again and they're hiring at full speed, but also all the people who wanted to teach abroad in the previous 2 or 3 years who waited because of COVID are now also jumping in. So you have a little bit more competition, especially if you want to go to very popular places. So again, these are the factors that will make you a competitive candidate, and these are things we already talked about, like the requirements. So of course, a university degree is going to boost that, but there are some places where it's not necessary, but it will definitely boost your chances if you have one, also for these regions. Then again, a TEFL and a TESOL certificate will also show that you really want to be a teacher and you did the training and you're ready, etc. And in some countries, it is also a requirement to get a work visa. So you need to do your research and know which countries those are, and then you are ready. But even if it's not a requirement, a TEFL will really boost your chances. And then again, any teaching experience you had before, any tutoring experience, anything like that will also be really great. And then something we did not touch on yet is language proficiency. So being proficient, or at least know something about the language of the country where you're applying to teach, can really help better understand and adapt to the culture. Adaptability, what we talked about in the beginning, the trends and like for the demand. So for a lot of employers, adaptability is very important. So if you already know something about the country, if you've learned the language, if you've been there before, this really shows that you are familiar with the culture. You are not going to, it's not going to get too much for you likely, and you're going to leave, because hiring, again, for them is very expensive, and they want to make sure that when they hire you, you're going to stay and fulfill your contract. And the worst thing that could happen is that you up and leave, right? And then they have to hire somebody again. So they want to avoid that at all cost. And yeah, if you can speak a little bit of the language of the country where you're going to, that shows them, oh yeah, you really want to be here. You're not going to leave. So that also makes you a competitive candidate. How can you boost your skills and experience if you don't have all of these things? Very easy. You can get additional qualifications, right? So we talked about having the standard 120-hour TEFL TESOL course. Again, yes, this is the minimum requirement that you should have, but 2023 is a little bit more competitive, and because this is the standard, many people are also going to have that. Many people are going to have a 120-hour TEFL certificate. So specialized additional TEFL TESOL courses, they can really help you stand out, get additional study hours, and also develop new skills and techniques for teaching. And yeah, just help you stand out and boost your resume. If there's someone who has 120-hour TEFL, so you have the exact same resume, that person has a 120-hour TEFL, you have the 220-hour TEFL course, they're most likely going to pick you because you have more hours, more training. So these additional courses are really great. They don't take that much time, very easy to get. They're also not that expensive, especially with our 30% off link, not very expensive. So you can easily get those, and this really will boost your resume. And then if you don't have any teaching experience yet, you can volunteer or work as a tutor, start teaching English online before you go. And this can really give you valuable experience teaching English to non-native English speakers, and can help you also build your resume. You have something you can put on there to hit those keywords in your resume that we talked about before, right? Even if this is just in your own local community, you don't need to go out into the world in a different country and teach. Of course, that will be a huge plus. But if you can't do that, what you can do right now is go somewhere, tutor someone in your community, and super easy, teach English online, right? Super easy. You don't even have to leave your home to do that. So that's a great way to boost your resume. And then the other thing, for the adaptability part, if you already know, okay, I really want to go and teach English in Argentina, what you can do now is take a Spanish course, immerse yourself in the culture, get to know the culture, read books about it, take language classes, anything you can do to develop your language skills, you can put that on your resume, and that will also show that you're already taken steps to learning about the culture, you're adaptable, you really want to be there. So these are some easy ways how you can boost your skills and experience for your resume to stand out in the competition. Okay. And here are some final thoughts. Just a little recap. And then I'm going to get back to Daniel's question here. So the most important takeaway from today, what I want you to have, and I hope you can read this, is a little small, but remember that there is a high demand for English language teachers, but certain markets are competitive in 2023. Most popular countries like China, competitive. Korea is competitive. Middle Eastern countries, competitive. So all of these places, Japan, Taiwan, if you want to go to those places, it's a little bit more competitive. Know that. The right qualifications, they will bring you closer to your desired goal, right? So have a TEFL certificate. If you don't have anything else, at least have a TEFL certificate. It will really, really help you. And always use multiple resources for your job search and tailor your resume, right? So we talked about the job search, what was it? Job board sites? What was it? You know what I'm talking about. The job search sites. There we go. job search sites. We talked about recruitment agencies. We talked about social media, how you can use that. We talked about networking, all of these things. So don't just use one of these, use all of them, use all the resources. And again, if you are an ITTT course graduate, you also have access to our job support. So you can also use that. And don't forget to tailor your resume. If you have a resume that you've written like a couple years ago for a different job, tailor it. Don't send out the same resume, right? Tailor it to English language teaching. Add in relevant keywords, TEFL, TESOL, EFL, ESL, teaching English as a foreign language, all of these things. You want to add that in, because if they scan it, you don't have these keywords, you might already be out. Okay, so very important. Then, if you feel like you lack some skills, boost your skills and enhance your resume with additional courses, with teaching English online, with language courses. All of these things really boost your resume and make you stand out. And then, most importantly of all, I think the last tip here, be patient and flexible when looking for the ideal teaching position. Maybe you have your heart set on a specific country, but it turns out, oh, this is too competitive right now, or, oh, I don't have the necessary skills yet to teach there. Be flexible, choose a different destination, and maybe once you've been there a year or two, then you can go to the place where you actually really have your heart set on, right? So yeah, these are my tips, and I hope this is what you can take away from today. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I think now we do have the Q&A. So feel free to throw your questions at me. We still have a couple of minutes here for Q&A. And again, we have 30% off as well if you want to get started with your teaching English career abroad or online. Take the course. 30% off. Don't pay full price. This is the link down here. Ends with FB Live minus Linda. And this will get you 30% off. And here, Daniel says, you guys have got us covered. We do. And that's why I'm here and giving you this information all for free, because knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you've done your research, the better. And Daniel has another question I'm going to answer right now. Daniel is asking, and I'm going to make myself bigger here. Daniel is asking, Linda, how long did it take for you to feel 100% adapted to South Korea? Did you feel homesick at some point? Okay, I think there is no such thing as being 100% adapted to a place, especially in a place like South Korea, where it is pretty clear when I step outside my door and people are looking at me, it's pretty clear I am not a local, right? So you are never 100% going to fit in here, right? This might be different than when you go to a different European country or, somewhere different where you also could actually pass as a local. I do not here, so I never will 100% fit in. And also because cultures are very different. I don't feel like you can ever 100% adapt. I am also in an intercultural marriage. So my husband is Korean. We've been married for 6 years. And I don't know, what I've learned is just what we talked about today as well, compromise. It's all about compromising. It's all about, understanding each other. And also, if you work at a school in a different country, they know you're not from there. And they will also understand you likely, right? Because they know, oh, things are different where you're from, because they hired many teachers before. And at the same time, they also hope you will respect their culture and their work culture, etc. So, I've lived in South Korea now for 7.5 years, close to 8 years. In May, it will be 8 years. So, yeah, it never 100%, you never get 100% adapted to, I think, a different country, because you're not from there and your culture is still very much in you, but you learn how to deal with it better, how to compromise. And I think the beauty of this is also that you see things from a different perspective. And this is very important. That makes you a better person. And if you decide to go to a different place, go back home. This is something that a lot of employers are looking for, somebody who has spent time abroad and who can see things from a different perspective, many different perspectives. I think that, I don't know, does that answer your question? I don't know. That's how I feel, at least. Oh, and did you feel homesick at some point? So in the beginning, I actually did not feel very homesick. I loved living abroad and new experiences. But now, the older I get and the longer I've been away from home, I think the more homesick I get, because now it's, and especially for the holidays that you miss, right? The birthdays that you miss. And then whenever I do go back home and I see, how people have moved on, or like even like the like what's on the news, or like the TV shows that I'm not aware of and things like that. It's like, oh, it's so weird. Like, everything moved on, right? You move on here, but also everybody in your country moves on with different things, and things change. But yeah, I think this is a whole this is something we could talk about for hours. Reverse culture shock, and adaptability and things like that. So it's not easy. It takes many, many years, and I think nobody can ever 100% adapt to one place, because you still want to be very much yourself as well. It's all about compromising and understanding each other. That's what I would say to that. I hope that makes sense. But thank you for the question. Yeah, let me know. Anybody else has a question? I don't want to ramble on too long. If anybody has a question about today's topic, about teaching English, about TEFL, TESOL, let me know, and I will do my best to answer that. Also, if you have a suggestion for future live session topics, let me know what you want me to talk about in the future, perhaps. Jacqueline says, thank you, very informative. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying. Sometimes I don't know how to talk. I hope I make sense. All right, Daniel says, it did. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. It's always nice to hear from others' experience when they move abroad. Yeah, I agree. And also, don't forget, like, everybody's experience is different, right? Everybody's experience is different. My experience is not going to be your experience. It's not going to be Jacqueline's experience. It's not going to be, who else is here? Amitava's experience, Claudette's experience, right? Everybody's experience is different. So, yeah. But I think that's something, yeah, you need to be aware of. Like, if you want to move to, yeah, as a Western person, if you want to move to Asia, it's something maybe to think about, that people are going to know you're a foreigner always, right? You always look like you're a foreigner. It's not like if I went to maybe, I don't know, France or something, they might not, you can't see like I'm a foreigner there. Probably as much. Maybe like just the hairstyle and the clothes might be like a giveaway, but just from looking at you or looking at me, people wouldn't know that. But here, people always know, right? So, Amitava says, how does it feel to change oneself, one's mindset, as well as experiencing different culture shocks from the Occident to the Orient? Love it. Yeah, I think you don't, like, in the moment feel like, oh, I've changed, like my mindset's different now, but you feel that maybe when you go back home and you talk to your old friends and you talk to your family after living abroad for many years. That's when you realize, oh yeah, I changed, or oh, I have a different view now. It's not like you suddenly realize that yourself, because it's a gradual process also. So I think, yeah, you only kind of realize it looking back, maybe, on, I don't know, yourself from before. Yeah. But I think we always change, right? We always change, no matter if you live abroad or not. Like, you just change. You're different. Amitabha today is different than Amitabha 2 years ago, I would probably say, right? But yeah. Living abroad definitely changes you, right? Definitely changes you. But I think that becomes more clear once you go back home. And then you see, like, oh, this is what life back home was like, and you talk to your old friends and you talk to your family, and then you realize, oh yeah, I did kind of change. So yeah. Daniel says, so true, we can't simply control everything that might happen to us, especially when moving abroad, as you can tell. Yeah, I agree. Interesting. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you for your questions. That's very interesting. I'm glad you're interested as well. Yeah. And there's this quote, isn't there? Like, what is that? Everywhere I go, I left a piece of my heart, or something like that. Or it's like, everywhere you go, you buy like a souvenir, but the souvenir is in yourself. Like, something changed in yourself. It's kind of like that. Is that too cheesy? I don't know. Oh man. All right, good. Does anybody else have one more question? Oh, okay. Here, Amitabha. Well, Linda, did your father and mother experience a new daughter, or rather a newer and updated version of Linda, after a gap of these 7.5 years? Yeah, well, I mean, I always spoke with my parents regularly, or I speak with my parents regularly, right? But I think definitely I've grown. I mean, I'm 30 now, and so when I moved here, when I moved abroad, the first time I moved abroad to China, that was 10 years ago, so I was like 20. It was actually 19, I believe, 19 to 20. I think it was 20. So I'm definitely different now than I was 20, but I think everybody is different now or different at 30 than when they were 20, right? Yeah. But definitely, I think they see, yeah, I've changed. But it's hard to say because everybody changes. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. That's a difficult question. We should ask my mom. We should invite my parents next time onto the live session, and you can ask them. I mean, I can definitely tell that I would probably be very different if I had stayed in Germany or in America and not lived in Korea for 7.5 years. I would probably be a very different person. Yes, for sure. I think with anything, your environment has an effect on how you change, right? Yeah. I don't know what to say. Very philosophical. Yeah, that's deep. I know. Very deep conversations. Good. All right. Well, that's a good question, Amitabha. Thank you so much. Anybody else have one more question? I'm going to take one more question and then I'm going to go, I think. We're 1 hour, 13 minutes in. We don't want to go too long, but this is very interesting. So if somebody has one more question, and then maybe I'll leave, or we just leave right away. Let's see. I want to give everybody the opportunity to ask away, so I don't want to leave too early. But let me know. Let me know if you have any questions before I go. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, as always. And I hope to see you all again next week. Same place, same time. If you have any topic suggestions, let me know. I think I don't know yet what I'm going to talk about, but we'll figure that out. Oh, Daniel. Does the negotiation talk change depending on the country that you are in or where you're from? Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely there's some cultural differences, right? How to negotiate in different countries. Um, some intercultural things. Some countries might find it maybe more rude if you're more direct. In some countries, you might have to be a little bit more indirect. So this really depends on the country. Yeah, that's a good point. Um, there might be different negotiation techniques, right? Um, yeah, so again, do your research. Do your research and maybe ask people, network with people who are already teaching in the country and see um, if there's anything that you need to be aware of. But yes, definitely there are cultural differences in negotiating as well. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Good point. But then again, I think, and this is also something from experience, from living abroad, people are usually very open minded because they know, like, you are a foreigner, you're not from this country and this culture. How would you know that? But then there's probably also some people who don't think like that and they're like, oh, you're rude. Um, but most of the time, people don't expect you to know all of these things because you are the foreigner. They kind of usually give you the benefit of the doubt with that. So don't be too worried about that. I mean, always be polite, right? You always want to be polite. You're not yelling at people and I don't know. Always, yeah, tread with caution and always be polite, right? So, yeah, but that's a good point. All right, good. Maybe we can talk about some cultural differences in the future. That'd be a really good topic. But I think we're going to end it here now. So, this was today's topic. Let's go back. Yeah, navigating the job market for English teachers in 2023. I hope you took away something today, something interesting that will help you in your job search, in navigating and getting that started for you with English teaching abroad or online. And yeah, it was very good. Thank you so much for your questions today. And I hope to see you all again next week. I will be here and I hope you will be too. And yeah, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And have a great weekend wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe. And I hope to see you all again next week. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, see you later. Bye.